TV show. I hope you're doing well. It is Friday the 13th. Yes, and I'm coming to you from Brea, California. As you know, I have a special guest coming on, Rene Banuelos from 22Social. He is going to come on and talk a little bit about some of the things that maybe you may be worried about with Facebook. We're going to talk about 22Social, and we're going to get kind of into the mix here about marketing on Facebook and to your audience who is probably on Facebook. So, but I'm going to bring Rene on right now, and we are going to, hold on, we pushed the wrong button. I thought I was going to have an opening that did not have a glitch in it, and I failed once again. How are you doing, Rene?
Doing fine, man. I'm still trying to find out where the post is at on the group, but I'll find it.
It's on the Facebook Live TV show.
Yeah, you have so many lives, but I think I went on there before you started it, so it wasn't as obvious. But
yeah, well, the scheduled post should have been on there. But how you doing, Rene?
Doing fine, loving it. California has nice weather right now, so this is our summer has started. Facebook's actually doing much better than people think it is. This is we're actually.
That's what I was going to ask you. I was just saying, is Facebook dead? Is it going away?
Yeah, that's a big joke. But I think Facebook's doing better or will be starting doing better now than it was before this whole thing happened.
Yes, absolutely. I believe the same thing. I think it needed, every so often you need a hiccup, right? Apple needed the hiccup of getting rid of Steve Jobs in order to, when they brought him back, he completely changed the company entirely and changed the world. Right, so the hiccups are not necessarily bad for a company as long as they recover.
That's a big as long as they recover.
But
even more so than that,
go ahead,
Andy. It actually needed to happen. See, this is something that no one's talking about. What you don't realize, or people, you do probably, but other people don't, is that if the network is not good for the consumer, it's not going to survive for the businesses. And yes, April said Facebook stock went up after congressional hearings because, and I was pretty happy after they were a comedy show.
Yeah. Actually, she said they went up while the congressional hearings were going on during that. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Well, I think people realize how much of a joke this whole thing. It was more of a PR witch hunt, and they weren't doing much of witch hunting anyway. They weren't qualified enough to hunt.
Exactly what I was going to say. They were deer hunting with duck quackers.
Something.
Like what? My favorite question, which is on all the memes and stuff like that, was, if Facebook doesn't charge for their platform, how do you guys make money?
Oh my God! I'm going to equate that to, we had a support ticket. Maybe 5 or 6 years ago, before 22Social, and we thought there was a green button people had to press up to register, and someone said, I don't see the button. I don't see the green button on the page. And we thought, maybe what browser are you using? Maybe it's not showing up on that browser. And we couldn't figure it out. Finally, the guy said, I see a green bar, but not a button. Is that a button? And that was after hours of trying to figure out what the heck. It shows up in Safari. It shows up here, there. Yeah. Like, really, somebody just shoot me right now.
Right.
But
well, these are the things we need to talk about in regard to being an entrepreneur. If I could say entrepreneur, I've only said it a billion times in the last 2 months. But entrepreneur or a business owner, period, is that there is some special people out there that that kind of take up our time and our space and that kind of stuff, or we're really not careful to be marketing to the right people, right? If somebody doesn't know the difference between something like that, then they're probably not going to be our customer anyway. And we don't need to worry about them and going and changing our graphics and trying to jump through all these hoops to help somebody like that, because simply it's not that they're a bad person. They're just not the person for us. On the Falco Canine Academy, I had a big launch for a new program that I'm dealing with or putting out. And one of the people wrote, one of our trainers says, well, I'm not going to do it because Falco Canine Academy has some really bad testimonials. And I looked at we have 2. I've been training dogs for 30 years. I've trained thousands of dogs all over the planet. I have humans and dogs, police departments, search and rescue, therapy dogs. We've been on National Geographic. Caesar Milan called us to produce a show. But you decided not to join us because we had two testimonials that said that, and neither one of them, I have no idea who those people are. And so these are kind of the things, and our trainer was really worried about it. And I said, listen, that person just really wasn't our customer. That may have been the excuse that they used to get off. So these are kind of the things you need to kind of keep into perspective when you're hearing them and responding to them and that kind of stuff. And so this whole Facebook thing in regard to 22Social, how has that affected you in saying, well, should we use 22Social because it's a Facebook app? Is there anything like that coming in, or anything that we're happening in?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna tell you a few things. We've been wrestling the beast since 2010, before 22Social. So, tell you a little story. Back then, Facebook would make changes and to their API and not let anyone know. We just woke up one morning, did nothing work, and there was no documentation. There was, okay, but really there wasn't much. And so it was like throwing stuff at the wall and hoping it would stick. And we threw enough stuff at the wall till stuff stuck. And then all of a sudden it would fall. So those were hard days. This is cake. And we're
because you're fully aware of it. It's in the news every day, so it's not a surprise to you.
It's like, no, and not only that, look, they give you normally they give you a 2-year window before they make a change to their API. Sometimes they give you some 90-day window when something they feel it's an emergency. They realize, this is getting misused by somebody. We need to plug that hole, and it changes. But sometimes it's a month, but they're also rare. So it's easier than before. But what happened in the last 2 or 3 weeks, since Mark, my assumption is he wanted to go to Congress and say, he probably thought they were going to be better qualified, I think maybe, and ask them some real questions. And he wanted to really be able to say, we've done this, we've done this, we've done that, we've done that. So they broke things kind of like the way they used to in 2010.
Oh, wow.
And the API is a little older than that, but that's when we really started playing with it and making software for it. So some of it was they were trying to cut off some APIs, and in the process, they broke some of the stuff. And literally for the last maybe week or two before the Congress and before we went to Congress or Senate, we'd wake up in the morning and say, hey, so this broke. Is it a bug? Are they acknowledging that it's a bug? Yes. Okay. Is it going to be fixed quickly? How many other companies are complaining? Yes. Okay. So let's not worry about it. It'll be fixed in a couple hours. Or they shut down an API. Does it affect us? Most of the times, no. And if it did, what else in the API or how we can change the app so it doesn't matter. And I would say 99% of the time it didn't affect us, or it was a temporary bug, but things were broken for a few days. And it was just Facebook closing this API and breaking things in the process and then coming back and fixing. But we're so used to that. I mean, there's some companies now, other companies who have a substantial user base who are more affected than we are, because they're also tied to Facebook, but in different ways. And some of them are hurting, I think, because they haven't wrestled the beast long enough to know how to stay on it and not be thrown off, so to speak. This is our deal. I mean, we've been good at it for years. I mean, same thing with PayPal. PayPal is a little bit like that, but it hasn't really impacted us. It was just more of what we're used to doing in a condensed time period. That was all. So yeah, it stresses out a little bit. But
yeah, so let me just take a quick step back, just in case there's people that are going to be watching this that have no idea what we're talking about in regard to 22Social. As the creator, founder, owner of 22Social, can you tell us what 22Social is?
Yes, I'm gonna use this really shortly. It allows you to add premium content to your Facebook page in order to do one of two things: either collect leads or charge for it. And we have multiple strategies for collecting leads, from lead magnet to regular lead magnet or giveaway, to running webinars using YouTube Live if you want to do that with registration, and to running sweepstakes. People are doing challenges with them because we're able to have drip courses, so those are being pretty popular. That's all for lead collection. And what makes us special is we use a Facebook login, right? The stuff that's what's been talked about quite a bit. And that's actually what triggered this whole thing. But we're using it properly. We're white hat. So we've innovated that. And then for the monetization side of it, you could do the same thing and charge for it right now 2 ways. Either a single payment, so you could sell a digital course for a single payment. Say someone buys your $200 course on how to do XYZ for ABC market, whatever, right? Your video tutorial. That same drip course could be paid as well, and we integrate with PayPal for that. So if you're in the information space, if you're a coach or an expert of some sort, you could run your entire business with Facebook, PayPal, and 22Social. Facebook's free right now. I'll joke about that later. Facebook's free right now. PayPal they charge their fees. So, and we're very, very inexpensive. So for less than a few $100 a year, you can run the entire information business on Facebook. You don't even need a website if you don't want one. But
yep. And so just to make sure everybody is clear, is that everything stays in Facebook, right? You're not your clients, your followers, your people aren't taken off to another website, a WordPress site, nothing like that. Everything stays within Facebook.
Correct. That's correct.
And that's great because people like that. I think that they don't like to be kind of shipped around from different platform to platform and that kind of stuff. And it's a great way to keep people on their app or on their Facebook app. The thing that I think that I like most, because there's a lot that I like about 22Social, and I tell people about it all the time. But I love the paid gate to get into a private group. That's one of my favorite things because you can and it does it all for you. They just have to click a couple buttons and you have to allow them in. But I just love to wake up every 30 days because I have every 30 day, a month payment on 2 of my platforms. And I love to wake up and look at my phone and there's, deposits going into my PayPal account. It's one of the most gratifying things. While I was sleeping, people were paying me, and it should not be the only thing I like it for that only reason, but it is fantastic how that works. What's one of your favorite tools? Is that your favorite tool also, or what's one of your favorite tool that you guys have?
Well, I think that it is on the payment side. I'll tell you what, because if you may say, well, it's not all about the money. Yeah, but you need the money to keep running the show, right? If you're not making any money, you can't keep serving, right? So if you're all about serving people, I love you, but you need to make some money to be able to keep doing that. And I think that's the biggest misconception online is people are told you need to attract, you need to create Facebook Lives, and you do. Not if you don't have an offer. Not if you're not selling. If you don't have an offer or solid offer online, just like offline, you don't have a business. So don't waste your time attracting. Don't wait till you have 10,000 followers to sell them something. Hopefully you're not in that game. Unless you really don't know what you want to do in business and it's a hobby right now, by all means. But so yes, I would say subscriptions are my favorite because it does keep on paying and because it forces you to keep providing value. Yeah. It forces you to care about your people. You can't just create something and say, oh, well, hopefully you like it and it works for you. You got to stay there. So I love that. And you're right. It does keep paying every month. So you can plan your business and say, this is my budget. This is what I'm spending on this or that. And yet you'll have some attrition, but you'll also be bringing in. So in terms of monetization, that's probably my favorite things, especially because we use Facebook logging, especially because the person who's requesting access to the group is a 100% match to the one that's on your back end. The lead collection, that's a hard one. I mean, challenges are big now. I love sweepstakes. I mean, I've probably been on maybe 3 different private masterminds talking about sweepstakes in the last 10 or 12 days, because if done right, they're probably the most efficient and effective marketing strategies. If done right.
Can you think of a Facebook page right now off the top of your head that has a sweepstakes by chance? Wasn't there like a barbecue restaurant?
Yeah. There's there is a barbecue restaurant, and I can get the link right now. Anything from e-commerce. It's really big with e-commerce because giving away a physical product or raffling off a physical product is pretty easy. Also with, I know Kim Garst has one on her page. And in fact, we use the same strategy in combination with our Facebook Live strategy, which is another one of my favorites, actually. I don't have too many favorites. But so that we can get opt-ins, right, from a Facebook Live. You can go live all day long, but if you don't have a way to capture, then unless you're doing inside a group for nurturing or retention, different story. But we use that to get push people over the fence. If they're thinking about, should I opt in? Well, we're giving something away. You get a chance to win something really cool. Yeah, okay, I'll register.
Yeah.
So we use that all over. We use that to add registrations to a webinar. We use it to even for challenges. I mean, you do a drip course or a challenge, and you include a sweepstakes with it, and now your conversion just went up.
Yep. So I'm going to come back to a couple more of those uses of 22Social, but I want to tackle April's questions here. One of them is, do they let third-party platforms know that they were going to shut down their API for groups?
Very little warning is all I'm going to say.
Okay.
Yeah, very little. Not what they're used to doing.
Okay.
But I mean, look, there's some platforms that still work. I mean, most platforms struggle to keep up. So when you don't get a warning and you're not used to moving swiftly, you're going to hurt. And it's not the platform's fault. It's just, I mean, it's a different world, right? Yeah. It's a different world.
Well, let me actually take this question down, and let me go back to that, what you just said. Is there some education to your customers that they need to be explained? It needs to be explained that Facebook is changing all the time, and there's going to be moments where it's going to go offline and that kind of stuff. Do you need to educate them, or is that something you just hope that they already know? We
mention it, but it just doesn't happen for us that often anymore. I mean, it used to happen for the longest. We got our domain banned for 2 hours once. 2 hours. Okay, don't ask me how we pulled it off, but we got whitelisted shortly thereafter, and it took us 2 hours to do it through some relationships. But and of course, it had to be somebody you knew. Of course, but and that was years ago, so we really didn't know too many people. But I think with anything else, I mean, if you remember when I think it was a hurricane or something that happened in the East Coast, where some of Google servers were down. I think some of Amazon servers were down. Like half the internet was down, and so that's more likely to happen, I think. As other than this special time that we're living in with Facebook, I think this after this dies down, that's more likely to happen than even Facebook killing something like that. I mean, we've had widgets not work. Like, for example, the send button widget, they discontinued that. So we don't use it. They had something else and we use that. So we're on top of this stuff. Nice. So there's very little information. I think users actually feel really, I've heard a lot of positive comments going, okay, now we understand what you mean when you say you stay on top of it, because they see how we're reacting versus how other companies are reacting. Right.
I was going to say, this may be a more intelligent way of asking the question that I asked it, but how do you handle situations when customers complain about aspects of the platform breaking that pertain to restrictions of the API by Facebook? See, that's a way more intelligent way of asking.
Thank you, April. We let them know. We let them know. We tell them this is what happened, this is what changed. But you know what? We usually don't go out and say it right away. We give ourselves a couple of hours to really plan out a workaround. Like, how quickly can we like giving bad news without any good news with it. So right. How quickly can we come up with another way of still having the same effect? Ultimately, you don't really care what the API is called. You don't care how it does it or how we make it work, as long as it does what you want it to do, as long as it collects the leads the way you want it to do, as long as it encourages people to have urgency or whatever that API helped with. As long as that happens, you really shouldn't care. But we try not to open our mouth till we have another way or a solution for it. And typically it takes us, in worst case, half a day. But if it's going to take longer, we definitely go out and educate our customers. I don't know if that answered the question, April.
I think so. She said, I'm the moderator for BeLivers Group, which is the community that was created.
Oh, we can have a different conversation if you want.
Oh, hey, well, I want to be on that conversation.
Sure, we will. We can. Right.
Okay. Hey, all of you that are watching, in the comment section, I put a link. If you want to join us and you have your camera and mic ready to go, where especially you, April, I think it's probably, I'm hoping you're off work and maybe you're at home. You can join us, or anybody else. It doesn't matter. Not just April, Jen, anybody else that's watching. I can see Barbara's watching and a few other people. Jen Nelson. Do you know Jen Nelson?
Of course I do. We're gonna interview her probably next week on Facebook Live tools. There's like a gazillion of them, right? And she's been brave enough to take the time to really dissect them all. So we're going to be interviewing her in our Power Users group probably in the next week. She's like, when can we go live?
I just started using a new one yesterday. It actually is pretty cool.
You talked to really? Okay.
Yeah, it's really it's actually pretty good. You can't interview people like us. Like Be Live right now is my go-to platform for being able to interview people because of all the other things that they have in it. But this other one, it's pretty cool. You can play a video and hear it.
Is it web-based?
You know it. You download it to your computer.
Oh, okay, kind of like Ecamm or something like that.
Yep.
Is it PCs and Macs?
Yes.
Oh, that may be the answer to, well, Ecamm's only on Mac.
Yeah, exactly. One of my buddies, he's on a PC. He's one of my weird friends that I still have that are on a PC. I even have a couple of Android friends. But anyway, he goes, it's probably just for Macs. I go, no. As a matter of fact, it's for Windows. So I sent it to him. April says, Jen is awesome.
Yeah, I guess they know each other. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So, okay. So the information, this is where I want to go next. The information that is gathered by a sweepstakes or a free giveaway or whatever that comes to you, what does that look like now with the change in Facebook? Is there anything different? Is it do the people have to opt in differently? What's happening with that?
No changes at all whatsoever from our side, and we're complying. Really.
So
that's our platform is at the heart. The heart of our platform is the Facebook login. Believe me, we guard that well, and we make sure we do it right. A quick little background: this whole thing was created. Very few people know this actually because they weren't in the middle of the pain like we were back in 2014 or 13. But the reason why this whole thing happened is back in the day, Facebook really survived because of the games. Zynga actually paid Facebook a lot of money. I don't know if you probably didn't waste any time with that. We did because we wanted to understand the Facebook login. The gaming industry, Zynga and a few other companies were the first to really use the Facebook login. So and they needed the friends list because they needed to be able to send you and say, hey, Rene wants you on his Mafia Wars gang. Join him. Or Rene wants you to grow some crops with him on his Farmville thing. So the initial login gave apps not just the person's information, but their friends list. And they did that to favor games. And the only, you won't hear out of Zuckerberg's mouth, but you hear out of mine. The only reason they did that is because they needed to. We wouldn't have a Facebook right now without that.
Wow.
Facebook would have not survived or would have had to look for another way to survive. The gaming industry paid a lot of the money you spent on those games to have a better gun for that Mafia Wars or fertilizer, whatever you bought. I don't remember, but
a new skin for
something. Some of that money went back to Facebook.
No kidding. So
before ads were big, that's how they monetize. Okay, so we started using Facebook login in actually before that, but 22Social officially in 2012. And we hated the fact that they were coupled together, the basic information and your friends list. We didn't want that on there because that would slow down conversions. People would see that and go, no, I don't want you to have my friends list. People who played a game didn't care for some reason, right? Everybody else was paranoid. So in 2014, when Facebook said, no, we're decoupling that, and they did that after they realized that it was getting misused. In the 2013 we were happy, we were ecstatic, and that they added other requirements. They asked we used to not have a confirmation page for an email. It used to be a straight pass through. They added that we couldn't just collect it; they had to confirm it, and we do. So also in 2014, they did a bunch of things that I'm not even going to talk about because there's too much. But that's where this whole thing got started on the Facebook login. So we had to get approved to collect the birthday because we collect birthdays still. Now they made location needs an approval. We're probably going to get that approval as well. No one hardly ever uses it. What they should, but they don't. So we're used to playing that game. We already got approved a few times for different things. We're ahead of most companies in terms of using that Facebook login because it's been the heart of our platform from the beginning.
Location being only what? The region they live in, the city they live in?
City and state.
Yeah, okay.
City and state.
All right. Yeah, you're talking about games. Yeah, no wonder I didn't know any of that. The last game I played was Galactica at the La Mirada Mall in 1979. Is the last game that I played.
Oh, you were in diapers, right? Playing a game, right? Your parents left you on top of the arcade,
yes,
and you were pressing the buttons with your fingers, not knowing what you were doing.
Exactly.
Did you say that?
April Roga's. Oh yeah, Mafia Wars. Really? It's still around?
I don't think so. I haven't really played games since I was 13, probably. a long time ago. So I played those games to understand the Facebook login. So that's all I remember. And they were annoying, Candy Rug Crush and all that stuff. They were a pain.
All right, we'll get back to business here. So one of the reasons why you want to collect people's information isn't just solely just because you want to find out about them. It allows you to also do more targeting ads, right? Where you can do like audiences and that kind of stuff. Is that one of the things, or is there another reason to have all their information?
Well, I mean, I think if you don't have their information, it's not a lead. I mean, you can get somebody to like, but especially now, that's not a lead. That's a soft lead, I guess. It's a follower more than anything. So to really have a lead, you need to be able to contact them. So an email is crucial, right? I mean, if Facebook says you can't run an ad anymore, I guess we'll still email them, right? And what we do, we have 4 touch points that we do that are critical. I think one of them is obviously getting an email to the Facebook login when they opt in. And so having that go through an autoresponder for your of choice. Another one is also pixeling them on the opt-in page or the confirmation page, which creates audiences in Ads Manager. Some people use that, not all of them. But so if you add a pixel to the app, it's automatically creating a list for you on Ads Manager. And then you have to just create an audience from that. We use events. Most companies use URLs. We use events, which are more flexible. Anyway, I don't want to go nerd on that, but the third is groups. Simply saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to announce the winner in a group. Make sure you join my group. There's the third touch point. And the fourth we added last year was Messenger.
Yep.
Messenger's really changing. And I can go deep on that if you want, but we can keep it high level.
That's on my list.
Messenger's really changing. Groups already changed for us. We used to be able to opt in someone into a group automatically. That were the magic days for hacking group growth. We used to get people 6,000-7,000 people in a group like that, and now we still can. It's just they have to take that extra step. You have to motivate them to join by saying, "Hey, I'm going to announce the winner in the group. If you don't join, you won't find out if you won." But
let's narrow down this a little bit and kind of come back. You probably answered this, but let's go back to it just to make sure. Again, I don't know how many people are watching that are new to all of this, but why have people in a group? What's the power of a group? If you can answer that in.
Yes, the group, a couple of things, more than 2, but a couple of things. One of them is organic reach. That's where a business can still get a lot of organic reach by posting something. But the most important to me is community. And people, in the end of 2014, I gave a lot of talks on this. And I didn't make any of this up. I just made it known. I think if you don't build community around the product that your product or solution, or your solution or the problem that you solve, if you don't build that community, somebody else will. And the person who runs the community is the one that's going to control the sway of the crowds per se. So community building is important for that reason. It's also because that's where people complain about you. Believe it or not, you want them to complain about you, because that's like a focus group on steroids. And people say, well, I don't know if you've ever joined an email list, a newsletter, and they send them email saying, welcome to our community. And I read that and go, you obviously don't get it, because that's one-to-one. And it's actually not even one-to-one. I mean, it's just a broadcast. You're sending me an email. If I reply to the auto-respond, you're probably not going to respond back, right? So it's not really a community. It's not a community unless, let's say, XYZ company, and if I can talk to the company, if Andy, you can talk to the company, and we can talk to each other about the company, that's when it becomes a community. And that's when it becomes really, really powerful, right? Because there's things I'll tell you about that company that might not tell them directly. And if I can have an ear on that, and if I don't mind people being mad or complain on a group, and I could say, great, thank you. It looks like we have to get this higher up in the priority. There's some pain around it, some real pain, then that's powerful. So that's why the groups are important, because they're the easiest way that I know today to create community. It's not your page. It's not your profile. It's not, God, no, it's not Snapchat. It's not Instagram. It's not a forum. The only ones that come touch close to that, and I'm not an expert in that, are groups inside LinkedIn, but that's a whole different animal. And getting someone to in a forum from back in a decade ago, it's just not happening. They're not coming back.
So is this stuff that you're talking about with playing on Facebook and having a group, is that only for small players? Is it just for mom and pop stores, or just small coaching plans and that kind of stuff? Or is it for, if you want to go big, are you still going to be in groups in Facebook?
Of course, of course. Sorry, there's an ambulance. I don't know if you can hear it.
Yeah, I
But
can.
yeah, wow, we're on the 8th floor and you can still catch it. Give it a sec. But I would say, I'm going to say that the reason why you may think that it's only for when you're starting is because when you're smaller as a business, you're willing to change and shift faster. Some of the more established companies, it takes them forever to make a change or to move, so they haven't figured it out yet. So the solopreneur marketer is usually probably the only ones that beat it are casinos, right? But in terms of marketing, are the solopreneur marketer, the coach, or the solopreneur. But yeah, imagine having a group with 30 or 40, 50, 100,000 people. They're out there. Yep. And there's still a lot of value in that. In fact, one of our groups, not too big now, but I think when you wake up in the morning, you realize there's three or four problems posted on your group, and your members already beat you to answer them, and you just say like, so people know that, hey, yeah, that's the right answer. Or you say good answer. Melly, who's amazing in our group, or Dan, Howard, or a few of the people who have, I don't want to mention them all, but that's when you realize, oh my God, I've arrived in the community.
Right. Yeah, April says all platforms need a community that is led by someone who knows how to brand champion the people within the community.
Yes, thank you, April.
That's why she's the host of the show Net Friending. Sorry, I always put an S on the end. I don't know why, but that's a great page to be on, by the way. So April, go ahead and put Net Friending link in the chat. And remember, there's a link. If you want to join us on camera and mic, there's a link. If you want to come on and talk to Rene and ask your own questions, if you like, just go ahead and join that. What were you going to say, Rene?
Yeah, I just went to like her page already. Oh. I want to step ahead of you.
We have great time on there. I've been fortunate enough to be asked to be part of the group, so I can do my own shows on Net Friending now, as if I don't do enough shows as it is.
Oh yeah, you're what was that one movie?
All the time.
Right? Is it Ted or Fred? What was that movie that that was filming some guy's life all the time? What was that? Some movie in the 90s, I think, or early 2000s that his life was being broadcasted 24/7. I forget. But anyway, that's not you, but it's pretty close to it.
I had a question about groups now, and I forgot. Gosh darn it. We were talking about if it's for everybody, if it's for the big guys. Oh, what's one of the most, I don't know if you can say this or not, but what kind of prices are being charged to be in a group? What do you see that's possible? Like I do $9.99 because part of that is people just really don't see that coming out of their credit card.
Wow, we can teach a class on this.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna tell you, it's either you're in the low tiered, which is below $20, low enough where if somebody sees a bill at the end of the month, they go, yeah, I'm not using this right now. I'm not engaging, but I will next month, so I'll keep it. So it's the retention one, right?
Yep.
There's not too many between, and I'm talking about our industry, right? I mean, it's all relative, right? If you're in an industry where there's a lot more value, you're more niche down, then the price is higher, right? But I don't see too many between $30 and $50. I don't see too many of those. There's very few. And the reason is because the other type of group, once it's $50 to $100 or higher, now you're talking about premium membership groups, people's inner circles. It's not about it's not about relying on them thinking this price is so low, I might as well stay. It's about keeping enough engagement where actually people are getting results from being in the group. And that's where gamification plays a good role there, and a few other things, right, that we'll talk about at some other point. But it becomes harder because at that point, it's still scalable. You're not spending one-on-one time with each person, but you have to do enough with either not just providing value, but encouraging that community to participate enough where they feel, I don't want to leave. Yes, it's a little higher price, but I don't want to leave either because of the value of the content or because I love the community and I get a lot of value just being there, or it's because a good way for me to keep tabs on what's happening with X or Y, Z industry. It's tougher, but I see more of that than I do something in the middle. So and that's all your premium membership groups, your inner circles and stuff.
So as the leader, I guess, or the host of that group, if you're charging $100 to $200 a month, do you have anything like that you know of?
Yeah, there's a few.
So if you're doing that, is it necessary for you to be on every day doing something, Monday through Friday?
No, once it's not. And I think it's really having them perceive the value. And sometimes you can do it with Q&A sessions. If you're really known as an expert and they really feel you can help them, and they think, well, if if I can ask so-and-so, this expert, one question a week or a month, that's worth it, because that'll translate to a big increasing my bottom line. Then that may be one way to do it. It's just not everybody can pull that off, right? Okay. It depends. Are you niched down enough where you're giving an answer that really, really applies to that group, or it's a Q&A session where maybe they don't all jump in every week or twice a month, but it's enough. It's valuable enough that they're almost getting it's a baby way of getting your brain, right? Yeah. Through this Q&A session. So if you can do that, they work. If you update them, if you give them earlier information than anyone else in the market as it pertains to their niche, that's another way to create some value where they feel, okay, good. I'll get the info from you, then I'll take it to my people and translate it. So that may be another reason to pay the higher dollar if you have access to information or figure problems out faster than anyone else for that niche.
That's one thing that Mike Koenig does, is he does his prediction shows where he talks about what's coming and what's big. Jen Nelson, I'm gonna have to do this one right because there's a little acting involved in this question. So Rene, any insights when 22Social tools or something similar will be available on other social platforms? LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. Whenever they open, you know what? I think it's about time. I'm gonna assign someone to directly really go in detail into their API to see if we can hack something to make it work. But honestly, Facebook is the only platform that's extensible enough for you to really consider it as a hub. LinkedIn is not quite there yet. And by that, I mean, they don't let you extend the platform like Facebook does. You can't have tabs inside. You can't, there's a lot of stuff you can't do. There's login, there's Instagram login, there's other types of login, but it's hard to turn anything else into at least a temporary website, if not your website.
Okay. All right. I'm still going to come back to Messenger bots or the Messenger application for 22Social. But is there one tool that you have that people have access to, but you believe it's not being utilized? Is there one that you think is powerful, but you know what, people just don't get it, or like I don't know why you're not using this tool. This is one of the best things we came up with. Is there one underutilized tool in 22Social?
Oh, okay. One of the features.
Yeah.
I would say it's drip courses. I would say it's starting to get used as challenges, but that's probably one that's not used as much. And we're gonna do some stuff with it. We're thinking of doing reverse drip, or where things go away versus show up. We're gonna expand that.
Do you think that's because Andrew Lane, your partner, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just want to make sure. Yeah. And you also talk about how to do a membership site using files within a group. Do you think because that's maybe easier, or?
Oh no, a drip course is different than doing groups. So it may be that. We maybe there's not enough examples of that right now, but there will be. Julianne Jones is one of the experts that's really done a lot of work in that area with challenges and drip courses. Mm-hmm. So it's starting to be less of a secret. And I'll be honest with you, the only reason we added that years ago was because somebody said, I think someone's unlocking areas based on time in some website. Is that something you guys could do? We're like, yeah, probably. And we added it for like one or two people who were asking for it. No one really was doing that. And then now it's becoming a little more popular.
Cool. Jen Nelson says Pixel.
Well, is she asking?
I know.
What
I was hoping
saying that's not used. No, you know what a pixel is, so I don't think you're asking. You know, you're way overqualified for that.
She's got to know what a pixel is,
right? Yeah, that's not. I would say, you know what? I'm gonna give you my 22 cents on that, and it's not just coming out of me. Stuff that other people here in the company have come to is what we really tell people is hustle your way to 100 leads. And make sure they're qualified first before you start running ads. And have your pixel set up so that Facebook starts tagging them with events. We use events, not URLs. So it's they're tagged with an event if they hit the opt-in. They're tagged with another event if they hit the confirmation page. So if they became a lead or they bought. Once you hit 100 leads in one country, then Facebook will let you do a lookalike. And if you're really, really careful with who you add, who you invite to your lead magnet or whatever it may be, then Facebook's going to go and look for more people like that. So if you want to keep things simple, just create a really good opt-in page of some giveaway. Make sure it filters correctly so that people who aren't your perfect audience or your perfect customer, they won't come in. Hustle your way to 100 leads and then use lookalike. If you don't know how to target, that's one way hack of not having a target, by you doing some of the targeting ahead of time. And then just telling Facebook, I want people who are tagged with this event, and we make that easy. We have a video that explains that. But in the last month, 180 days, who've been tagged with this event, which is the ones who opted in, and I want more people like that. And that's it. That's actually the easiest way to hack targeting. Use the beast in your favor.
Yeah,
I gotta stop calling Facebook the beast, but it is at this point. It's like
it is
the behemoth.
Melody says, like the reverse drip concept.
Oh yeah. Oh, and there's also combo reverse drip and drip, but where content areas show up and these ones go away, the other ones aren't there. It just keeps moving. But we'll play with that. We don't build a feature unless there's a strategy for it.
Oh, that's
and if there isn't a good strategy for it, why the hell pull a bell that's never going to be rang? You know, right?
Right. Ring that bell. All right. Well, we're going to talk about chatbots here. So hi, Rene Banuelos from Rafael Lopez Zepeda. Great video. I'm having great results with the 22Social chatbot tool. Congrats. All right. Let's talk about Rafael. What is that? What does your chatbot do?
I'm going to call it a baby bot.
Okay. What's the baby
and
bot?
the reason why I say that is we don't have every bell and whistle that a ManyChat or other bots have. But the reason we added that is because it really completes the wheel in terms of, it allows us to really be a full solution. So if you're not ready to create complex trees of if they answer this, reply with that, and if they reply with that, answer with this, and so forth. If you're not ready for all that, you just want to have them on a list, we can handle that. And that's changing with Facebook, and that'll change that. In 30 days, it'll be different. So we're working to stay compliant there. There's two types of messages. There's more than those, but there's two main types. One of them is the one you can message anywhere under 24 hours of when they've last interacted with your page, when they last messaged you or replied to something. That one's really easy to get. We got that approval pretty quickly. The other one was tougher, which is subscription, which means you can message them anytime after those 24 hours. That one you have to show Facebook why the heck you're doing that. And that one can't be promotions. It can't be 30% off or whatever. It can't be promotional at all. And something that no one else is talking about, you know what a bigger problem I'll give you an example. The reason this whole mess with data, right, is because you didn't know somebody was collecting your data. You weren't becoming another line item on somebody's list, right?
Yep.
Guess what? And I really haven't told anybody outside of the company other than this. So you're hearing this for the first time outside.
We won't tell anybody.
Yeah, well, it's live now. I don't really care if it's known, but guess what? If you're opting into a bot, if I message your page right now, Andy, and you have a bot connected to it, and now the bot's answering, I'm a list item. I'm a row in their database, and I've never heard of the bot before.
Wow.
Okay. So talk about not being transparent. That's why that's why they're really shaking things up on chat, because, and it didn't come up in Congress. They weren't smart enough to ask that kind of question. So when I realized they were asking a bunch of dumb questions, I'm like, yes, thank you.
Yeah.
But no one's talking about that. So it is a big deal for transparency. So I forgot how I got there, why I brought this up, but
yeah, I forgot too.
well, okay. Well, we're talking about the two models, right? So that's why it's important. So in May, they're going to make it a lot harder to do subscription messages. But you know what? And messenger ads are cheap.
Yeah.
And here's how we're different there. We don't add somebody to a bot list till after we've done the login. So you do know who 22Social is. So we're probably the only ones that where the actual consumer knows, hey, they have a relationship with us. They know they allowed our app first. We have two apps, more than two, but two parts. The permission, and then they check a box that says, yes, I want to receive messages. We're probably the only bot where all of our opt-ins know who we are. If that makes sense.
So just, I'm going to, again, pretend I know nothing about 22Social and just ask a question. So how would a restaurant utilize the chatbot? Would there be a post on their Facebook page that say, hey, if you want a coupon for tonight's special, click here and they'll get a private message with
that's one way
with the coupon on it? Would that be one way of using it?
That's one way. And that's the opt-in happens by commenting on a post. And that's,
okay.
I don't know where that's going to
comment on my post and you'll get a message from us for a free dessert at the end of your meal.
And honestly, I'm not sure where that's going to end up because they're tightening in the page APIs to monitor those posts. It's probably going to my guess is it's going to keep working, but it's at risk right now. That's the whole thing. So another way is we do it differently. We do it through an opt-in funnel. We just added as part of the opt-in funnel. Register here for the sweepstakes, and you'll get a message with when you won, when we selected a winner.
Should don't go through. Should that always be on there somewhere that you're going to get a message so that they know?
We do that as part of the opt-in. Okay. They have to check a box.
But I'm saying they should know that you're going to be sending them a message so they know consciously that by pushing this button, I'm going to be messaged by them, which means that they have now connected the message. Yeah,
you should tell them everything that's going to happen. Hey, I'm going to ask you simple. You're going to log into Facebook so you can create your raffle or your sweepstakes account with us. And just remember, I'm going to be messaging you through Messenger when I have a winner. And don't worry, you can opt out at any time. We don't want to talk to you unless you want to hear from us, kind of thing. So those do better when that's explained briefly in the opt-in page. Then the conversion tends to go up. But
there's an in-between, and once they do that, then there's something that pops up and says approve your information or anything like that?
They opt in and say, yes, I'm okay with you having my contact information. Boom. And the second one is like, I'm okay with you messaging me. Go, proceed. So it's faster than someone typing in their name and email, by the way. But and you get a lot more out of that opt-in. You're getting 3 automatically. You're getting their email. You're getting the contact for email. You're getting they're pixeled, and they're also you get them on a chat list. But how the restaurant would use it is saying the welcome message could be, hey, thank you for registering for the cake giveaway. By the way, don't forget to refer your friends for more chances to win. Here's a link to get your share URL or whatever to get more chances to win. Okay. That's what. And then when they're announcing the winner, and the example I'm thinking of, she actually has a VIP fan group. So she says, please join the group. And the confirmation, she tells them, join the group because I'm going to be posting there. Even though she already told them she's going to message them. She'll message them and say, hey, I picked the winner. Click here to find out if it was you. That's not promotional. That's not 30% off of nothing. Right. It goes to the group. It could also go to a page if you don't have a group. And once they're there, then you can get all promotional as you want. You could say, hey, Joanne won. Congrats, Joanne. She won this week's cake. And by the way, if you didn't win, that's okay. You have 20% off of dinner, barbecue dinner or whatever.
Is the baby bot is the baby bot? Is that part of the regular package for 22Social, or is that extra?
Yes, it's included. It's included.
Nice. You guys are awesome. All right, Melody says, so what you're saying, Rene, is we're all pretty much in a holding pattern until some of these changes are laid out and implemented.
No, I'm not saying that at all. I mean, there's so much you could do. Because there's so much you could do. You should never be in a holding pattern. Look, I mean, tell you a little, maybe not a story, but this has happened so many times. Okay, I hate announcing features that we're adding because people feel they have to halt their marketing waiting for that feature, thinking that's going to be the secret sauce.
I know what you're saying.
And it becomes urgent. Like, I got to have it. I can't promote. I'm like, you didn't know about it 6 months ago. You were promoting. What the heck happened?
Yep.
So no, don't halt. I mean, a lot of the stuff, the fundamentals of marketing, digital marketing, have not changed. I still remember when we got rid of Facebook got rid of the fan gate. You remember those?
Yep.
This page to see this, and some of them were hilariously ridiculous. Actually, some picture of a Red Bull had one. Is like, hey, like us to see something, to see nothing. Actually, I think there was nothing on the other side. But people were getting likes, and Facebook realized, oh my God, there's people liking pages for the wrong reasons. They really don't like the company. They just want to see what's on the other side of the fan gate.
Right.
And they cut the wire on that for that reason, which is good. They don't want you liking stuff you don't really like. But we just added the pay gate and delete gate. We didn't cry. Oh my God, what are we gonna do? We don't have a fan game. Oh no, we're doing something different. As a platform, we did that. For you, if there's something you can't do, like April says, if BeLive can't go into a group, then I gotta, sorry, April, I gotta find another tool, or I gotta go live on my Facebook page, not my group. One of the two. We weren't able to do that 6 months ago anyway, or whatever that was, and we were fine. We're still getting leads and results.
Yep, I had to do it too. The other day, I had to go in a group, and I just used the Facebook Live or Facebook Live on Facebook. And they have a share your screen. They have almost everything. And so, so there's alternatives, thank goodness. But in regard to what sometimes you guys do, you go live and do a lot of teaching, whether it's in Graphic Hackers, which is Andrew Lane's group. I think I gave it the wrong name, but it's one of those things. In your experts group and that kind of stuff is sometimes you go using Google Hangout. Sometimes you use BeLive. Sometimes I think you use something else. I think maybe even Ecamm. What do you base your decision on what it is you're going to use as the platform to go live? I really like it when you use BeLive or whatever it is you use straight into Facebook as opposed to Google Hangouts. But why is it that you guys choose one thing over another?
Okay, good question. Back in the day when live streaming really started, for everybody versus people who could afford Ustream or live stream, pretty expensive. So when they democratized that for the masses was when Google Hangouts came out. I don't know if you remember that far back. Andy, you being younger than me, I figured you might not remember.
I was a baby.
Okay, good. We started going live with Hangouts in 2013. So we've been doing live for about more than 5 years now. So this is not a new thing. And what we liked about Hangouts is it could do almost everything. It could be a public broadcast, just a public hangout. Check. It could be a webinar because you could unlist a hangout and gate it like we do still today. Now it's YouTube Live versus Hangouts. It could be up for private one-on-one meetings or for group coaching because you could have 9 people on a panel. It did everything. And I love that because I hate learning 3 different things and adapting, going, I can't have lower thirds or I can't have this on this one. And I'm like, crap. So that's one of the reasons why I asked Jen Nelson to help out is because the landscape is such a mess right now. Yep. And people are not going live because they're confused. So right now we happen to have a really nice iMac in the office. This is what we're streaming from. So we're using Ecamm Live for broadcasting, and we switched our strategy. We finally said, all right, we got to move on. We got to stop using Hangouts for everything. And we let go of that bone that was worked really well for us for 5 years. But like anyone else, it takes a little bit to adapt. When things are working, you kind of want them to keep working. But so now we're doing, that's why we actually, the first Facebook Live we did was teaching Facebook Live strategy. And so we use Ecamm for that because it's, like I said, we have a Mac and it allows us to drag in video and everything. We just can't invite a guest, which was we don't, so it doesn't matter. Right. In fact, we're going to start doing some interviews. We're just going to pre-record the interviews and pop them in. So for webinars, we still use YouTube Live gated with our software. If we need to collect the lead, if we say, hey, this is valuable enough or we need the lead, and we do have those. We do have that from time to time. We have those still. Or we need to have it be paid. For example, we have a certified experts group. That's not public. So we're a little bummed out we couldn't use Ecamm Live. Unless they added YouTube. They might have added YouTube recently. If they do, that's great. Yeah. But that's where we use Hangouts. And for group stuff, I'm switching between Zoom and Blue Jeans for group stuff because it allows that. I'm gonna start playing with BeLive for broadcasting. So please, April, tell them to fix the group thing if you can.
Yeah, please. Yeah, there's a couple platforms that I watch a lot on my phone because I know you've commented when I've been on before and say, how do you always on these shows all the time? Well, half the time I'm driving somewhere, so that's when I'm mostly watching. But the problem is with some of them, if my phone goes from profile to landscape, it turns off the video, and then I have to reboot it and I have to refresh and get it to play again. So that's odd. And then commenting on the Google Hangouts, I gotta end the video. It's and then bring it back in again. So when you use something with like Facebook Live, within your webinars, I love it because I can do everything. I can chat, I can turn it, depending on what's going on. If I accidentally turn it sideways, it stops the video and I got to start again. So it's all about me, right? You should be more concerned about what makes me happy, not about what makes you happy. Just so you know.
Yeah,
I froze Renee's like, what? Really?
Of course, that makes sense. Yeah, of course. If it's hurting your user experience, ultimately that's going to change your interaction. And we are getting more leads now that we're using for broadcasting. We knew we needed to do that. We just took a little longer than most people, but we don't just go live. We collect leads all the time. We have a call to action.
Yep. So let's see. I've gone to April a lot. I'm going to ignore hers for 1 second, but Jan says, I can't say the last name, Perlink. What software advise you for Windows PC for Facebook Live? I just found one. I was looking for the link here, and it's called Win Broadcaster, I believe. Hold on, let me type it in and see if this is the right one. Win Broadcaster. If you scroll down, Win Broadcaster. If you scroll down on the Facebook Live TV show, just down probably to yesterday's video that I did, that's using Mac Broadcaster, which is the Mac version of Win Broadcaster. And that works for both. So I'm going to put the link. There's no affiliate link, or for sure I'd use an affiliate link, but I don't have one. So this is for you, Jan, right? Is that who I was talking to? I already forgot. Back up to the top. Yeah, Jan. So Jan, I put the link. It's in there. It's called Win Broadcaster. That's for Windows-based computers. You can go on Facebook Live. You can play videos, and you can actually hear the sound coming from the computer, which on many of the platforms you cannot. It only just plays the video. But now I have an intro. You'll see that I play my intro in that video, and that's running off of my computer. You do have to upload, at least on the Mac version, upload one more app that's free, and then it connects the two things together. But it's simple, easy, not a problem. So easy. Anybody could do it. But Win Broadcast.
Is this the one you talked about earlier with me?
What's that?
Is that the one you mentioned earlier, or is this a different one?
That's the same one.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's check that out, Jen.
Yeah, you have different scenes you can put on there if you want to go to a picture, if you want to go to a video, if you want to do that. You can do contests, or not contests. You can do polls. So if I put, do you like a cat or a dog? And underneath it, they thumbs up for a cat and a heart for a dog. You can see live voting during your Facebook Live of what people like and don't like. And so you could do a contest about, one of your apps or something like that. You could do all kinds of stuff, and it causes engagement, right? That people are using their thumbs and their hearts, thumbs up and hearts, and it's really causing engagement on your page. It really is a good platform. So I like it. The only thing that I don't think you can do yet, which I didn't see, is that you can't bring somebody on for an interview. And so then you're back.
Yeah. Well, most platforms that don't have an online component struggle with that, because that takes a different. I mean, is this one-time payment or is this a subscription? Yeah,
it was $20 for the Mac version, and I think it's $30 for the Windows version, because you get both YouTube and Facebook Live. You get YouTube Live and Facebook Live in the Windows version for $30 a year, not a month. A year.
Yeah. See, the reason why it's so inexpensive, the reason why Ecamm Live is so inexpensive, is they don't have to have any servers. Because in order to have a guest, like right now we're having with BeLive, they have to, it takes some power, right? Will, hilarious. Sorry, Andy, I'm a cat dude. I vote cats. Hilarious.
I loved you, Will. I used to love you. What happened? I'm never going to let you borrow my computer again.
I'm a dog person, but anyway. Sorry, Will.
You're welcome, Jen.
But
we got interrupted by Will. What were you going to say?
To do this, they need a server. Something needs to stream this thing and connect us together. So it's hard to do that when you're only charging a one-time fee or a low yearly fee. It's expensive for BeLive to do all this. I mean, because it's running through their servers. It doesn't have to for Ecamm. It's just software that runs on your computer that goes straight to Facebook. But and April might want to add to that. But if you think you should. If I have it wrong, but anyway.
I was going to share. Oops, hold on. I clicked on the wrong page here. So here is the site for Win Broadcaster. If you go there, you can see all the applications. You see a little picture-in-picture, and you're able to talk and show, if you're a real estate agent, that property there, that kind of thing. Here you see the voting, right? There's a thumbs up for one thing, and they're cheering that, whoever won that vote. And you can put like little frames, picture in picture, but a little bit larger. So there's all kinds. It's actually pretty decent for $20 for a year. I thought it was pretty cool.
You know what's funny, Andy? Technically, that's engagement baiting.
Oh, really?
Yeah, technically that lands under engagement baiting.
All right, don't do that.
They're not. Well, it's up to you. I'm just saying, your choice. But and I don't know if it's video. I don't know if Facebook is going through the video and seeing if that was happening. I don't know. They might be. My guess is that they might be. I don't know if they're enforcing it though. But technically, that's engagement baiting. You're asking them for a heart as a vote, and versus when that's meant to be if they love what you say.
Just on their own, organic.
No. I mean, you could say, hey, if you love what I'm saying, hit the heart, because that's what it's meant for.
Huh.
So using that mechanism for voting is technically engagement baiting, but hey.
Seems like a very fine line.
It is. But see, that was not meant for that. So now Facebook thinks you like or love or whatever something when that's not really what you're saying. You're saying you're voting. So it's, anyway.
Yeah,
just a little.
Stephen Healy on the show the other day pointed out something really good to do, and that's when you're running a recorded video to have a lower third that says recorded video. And gosh, I wish I would have came up with that and thought about that. But Steve's much smarter than I am.
You can't be disingenuous. You can't pretend to be live when you're not. So you could pipe in a recorded interview, but it doesn't have to. You have to be very specific and say, or explicit and say, "Hey, we were about to show you a pre-recorded interview or whatever." So I'm glad Facebook's doing that because I've never liked the webinar platforms that think you won't know they're not live.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see. Before I forget, I didn't say this. This is the horrible marketer I am, and that is in the description. You'll see it has the 22Social link if you want to try 22Social. I'm not sure, what does that link get them? Do you know?
Oh, Andy, geez.
I know it's my referral link, but I forget what it does. Is it like 14?
You're probably it gets them 30 days.
30 days.
But you know what? You're better off sending people to the blueprint. But either way, it's fine.
All right.
I'll get you a new link.
Give me a new link, would you? And I should have asked you before I put that up there, because that's why I started laughing. Like, I have this link I want you to use, but maybe you're not supposed to use it. But it's the one that
you can. The other one's better though. You can. It'll definitely track them to you, get them to learn a little bit about 22. It'll do the job. Just the other one's better.
All right. Let's go back to some of these questions really quick before I let you go. I know you're a busy man, because I want to also talk about what you got coming up. If we can talk about that at all. Let's see. Stephen is the best. Yes, Stephen is. Do you know who Stephen Healy is?
No, I haven't had the pleasure.
Yeah, he's a big Be Live guy, and he's one of their main broadcasters that talks about the platform and how to use it. Very good guy. He's in England, I believe. I believe in England. Tag Stephen, he appears. Oh, credit to Stephen Healy for sharing Win Broadcaster with a live streaming community. Oh, yeah. All right, let me see. I know there was a question in here. I saw it. Engagement baiting can't do that anymore either.
Technically, you're not supposed to. That's just all I'm going to say. The rest, I'm not a Facebook attorney.
Oh, so Will Irish says we should do the voting through tears for the dog, heart for the cats. Sounds legal to me. Just paying $20 a year is awesome. Yeah, tears for the dog. Come on.
Yeah, he was smart with that. There is no tears. Oh, there is a sad one. Yeah, okay, tears. That's funny. Yeah.
The blueprint is the bomb, says Gene Nelson. What is the blueprint?
The blueprint actually helps you figure out what you're supposed to do before you try to do it on the platform.
Why would I do that? That's not, it's not good to throw a bunch of crap out there and hope that it's going to work.
No. And in fact, it actually solves one of the biggest mistakes people make with online. You don't start with attraction. You figure out your lifestyle. And then you create offers that match that lifestyle. Remember that?
Yeah.
And then when you have offers, you can market. Don't start marketing if you have nothing to sell. I mean, unless it's a hobby. But and then you figure out, okay, I want to collect leads, but if you don't have a way to nurture them yet, don't collect them because they're going to go stale real fast. And then you lead collect, and then you can think about how you're going to attract. So we go through that whole process, and we've done that because there's no sense in giving somebody a weapon or a tool is a better word right now, a tool, if they don't know how to use it.
Okay.
And they're going to just spin. So.
And random acts of content is not a great strategy.
Random acts of content? Is that what you said?
Yeah, not a great strategy. All right. Hello. Miguel says, hello, Rene and Andy.
Hey, I missed him a few times.
Miguel was spying on you the other day, I understand.
Oh, I was spying him. He comes down to, I think it's Pat Flynn who runs a mastermind here from the same building. Yep. So I see him sometimes from the 8th floor when they're down in the 3rd. But anyway, there he is.
So Rene, you've done a great job at 22 Social. I got to tell you that I love it. I tell everybody about it. There's nothing like it that I know of. You guys are on top of it. If you didn't have 22 Social, I would still be singing your praises, because the training that you give, the groups that you have, the graphics that training that Andrew does, the two of you are. If you're not connected to Rene and Andrew in their private groups and learning from them, you're making a very poor error in your life as an entrepreneur, business owner.
Wow.
The stuff you do is just great. I get more out of just being engaged with you. Probably I should be doing more with your app, but I get so tied up in what you guys are doing. It's fantastic. And so get connected one way or another to Rene and Andrew and 22 Social. I think you guys are fantastic. So I'm not going to even let you reply. So what is it you have coming up? Is there something that you're working on right now with some people to bring even more, authority to something somebody might be trying to do? Is there something you can let out of the bag?
Yes. And if you want to learn more about that, I think I see Andre here on the list. But by the way, hello, Andre. I think I have a very, very ambitious mission. We got a call pending, Andre. I know. Thank you for reminding me. I needed that. But I have a very big ambition for solving a big problem in the industry. And I'm talking about the expert, speaker, author, coach, entrepreneur. I mean, marketing expert or information expert, whatever you want. There's like not one good umbrella word for it. Mm-hmm. But I think 80 to 90% of the people who take almost any program online fail. And I think the reason they fail is because they're probably in programs they're not supposed to be in, or they're not ready for, and they're not a right fit for that program. Yep. So one of the areas I'm focusing on to attack that problem is the vetting process. And from that is really identity, going deep. People talk about avatar, they say how old you are, they talk about demographics, but going deeper in terms of really understanding who you should be working with and who you shouldn't be working with. So I talk about identities. I mean, this isn't new. What's new is how deep I'm going with it, because I think that's the key to shifting the industry, so that instead of there's 80 to 90% failure rate in most advanced programs, yes, it's probably higher than that, but I'll leave it at that, Roy. It should be probably 50 or 60% who succeed, I think. If not closer to 80 to 90. I mean, you shouldn't take a client, especially a high-ticket client, who you don't think is going to almost absolutely have success with your program. So, and that's some of the things I'm really going nerd on right now. Yep. And I am launching a Tribe Mentors Academy in the background, and I am doing some stuff with you, Andy. We got pending, and really one of the things that really has me excited is, for years I've been wanting to see a book launch, and I'm open a little, just enough, done in such a way that it really validates the expert, it validates the content, it gets some clients, it gets some impact by helping people, and it really checks all the boxes. I've been wanting to see that. It's going to take a lot of orchestration. The analogy I could say is kind of like a symphony, and I've been itching to hear that symphony played. I mean, even saying those words, man, I get a little emotional, man. I've been really wanting to see that play. I don't know why I'm getting. God, I'm sorry, dude. I got to stop a second. So I've been for years. I've been telling people about this strategy we're going to do, and Andy, you're amazing, and hopefully we can make something happen. And I know we will. But I want to see that symphony play, because I think that's the key to solving a lot of problems with the one process if done right. It does take orchestration. It does take a few instruments playing together well, and I think it's gonna be huge, man.
That's awesome. I have a feeling Roy is going to jump all over what you just said for some reason. I know Roy's also part of Net Friending with April. They're a great team. Yeah, that's great. I am so excited that you even suggested that you and I do anything together. I just enjoy being your friend and seeing what you guys do and watching all your videos and training. It's so valuable. When I was thinking, when you talked about 80 to 90% of the people fail, is because most of these products are launched at events where people are jumping up and down, hugging each other. And they got the people up there talking that are making $2 million a week and $100,000 a day. And you get all pumped up and fired up, and that you're sold something, or people buy something that, you know, they think, well, I'm going to be just like them. But it's at the wrong place that they're at, right? They're given a tool in a place where they're going to be at if they actually implement and do a whole bunch of work, and then they'll be there where that's at. Or, you know, they don't even know what they're going to do. There's some people that write a book, you know, that they create a book title, create, you know, a sales of a book that's not even been created, but don't know what's going to be in the book, right? And so there's got to be this. You have to start where you're at. And I think so many people buy these $5,000 products, and they're not prepared to even jump in. And I would venture to say that not only do they fail, I would say a large portion of those people don't even open up.
Don't even start. Don't even start.
Don't even watch the introduction video of the thing they bought for $3,000. And
they bought the wrong thing for the wrong reasons. And they might be the right customer, but they bought it for the wrong reasons, wrong motivation. I mean, so much has got to change. And April said everyone should shift the mindset from me to we. Yes. And so if you read the Pendulum by Michael Drew, you know what she's talking about. But that's essentially it. I mean, imagine if you had a program that 80% succeeded. I mean, I know it's going to take some work, right? And it's going to take some discipline. You have to turn some people down. You may actually turn half of the income, but think about it. In the next round, when you launch that program again and people see that you've had 80 to 90% success rate, they're going to have to apply, and they should, because you shouldn't be working with everybody. You should be working with the right candidates. Don't get me started. I'm going to stop because I can go on for that. I mean, there's passion behind that, Andy. So I'm going to stop.
I'll keep it running as long as you want to talk. I
got 3 minutes left. I'm going to tell you this. If people see, oh my God, this person get the right person, 80 to 90% of the right people will succeed, and you can pull it off. There's a part of the pie, of the solution pie, that you should be solving. And if they don't walk in with the rest of the pie, you shouldn't take them as a customer. Maybe you should put them in another program to get them there. If their mind's not in the right place, then send them somewhere else to get their mindset straight. If you're not covering that, you should only be picking up business, especially at the high level. And it's hard to do that when you're selling something for $20, right? But if you're charging a few $1,000s, then you have the resources to be able to vet properly, right? So imagine that second round, when you're relaunching the second round, people see that kind of success, and everyone's going to want it, and you're going to turn down 90% of the people. But those 10%, you might get 90% success rate because you're getting better at that vetting process and so forth. And your systems are going to get better because they're being applied to the right person. You're not trying to teach a fish how to climb a tree. You're not trying to teach a monkey how to swim. I mean, so they're going to be vetted with the right audience, with the right avatar or right student. So that's what I want to see happen. And I'm working my tail off to prove that right now in the background. So, filter the right people in and the wrong people out. And it's not that they're wrong for that solution. Yep. They're right somewhere else. Yeah.
Wow.
Which was your favorite Einstein quote ever? I don't know which was you're referring to. But.
Well, let's review. Facebook is not dead.
No.
22Social is the finest application on Facebook that on the planet. You should be you should be charging for your groups. You should be charging for your private groups. You got a baby bot that is fantastic, right? Let's see. You're ready for the concerto to play. Fish can't climb trees, and monkeys may not be able to swim. I think there are some monkeys that can't swim, but
most don't want to. They don't want to. Don't force them.
People fail, and because of a platform that they shouldn't be in. What else? I just made that up just now. Oh, about teaching fish to climb a tree. Oh, that's Einstein. You stole from Einstein.
It is Einstein. You're right. Thank you, April. I didn't make that up. Yeah, I knew that, but I didn't know it came from him.
And Jan says, wow, And then Steve, we found out also that Stephen Healy is awesome on Be Life. What else? What else can we talk about that we didn't touch on that needs to be talked about? Anything else? I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, there's things that I want to talk about with you that
we do a follow up, Andy, because I got a call with my mentor like 1 minute ago.
Hey, we were supposed to have a meeting at 3. Did you change that meeting?
Yeah, I moved the other meeting for that meeting.
I figured that gave us 2 hours instead of 1 hour.
No.
How dare you? All right, Rene. Well, this is awesome. It's so hard to get you on these things, and it's not because we don't try. It's just because our schedules don't always mesh. And so I appreciate your time, and I'm thankful for going over. And I really appreciate your time. So just have a great day, and I'm looking forward to talking to you the next time.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you for having. You're amazing, by the way. I haven't said that enough. Very few people are so giving as much as you are, and you're doing it in such a way that keeps you successful in business. It's hard to have that balance, and I think you do it well. You're both giving and you have your own success, right? So you don't sacrifice your success to be too giving. Sometimes that can happen. You're very well balanced. You're very much a giving person, and you're very successful in business as well. So I really, really, really admire that about you.
Wow. Well, I guess I got to end this broadcast because I'm going to start crying. You have no idea. I respect you so much, and just you saying that just is thank you. I can't say enough. I've had some great days these last couple of days with a bunch of you in my life, a bunch of Rene's and April's and Roy's, another guy by the name of Lozo and Everett. It's because I've surrounded myself with fantastic people, and that really makes a difference. I've not flown with as many eagles as I'm flying with now. I've flown with turkeys for so much of my life. So
turkeys are good for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, well, for eating. I want to soar like you, and so I appreciate it. So I'm going to sign off because I'm going to go sob and just be thankful for all I have. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us. I can't name everybody because we had a bunch of people on the show today. Rene, again, thank you. Have a great meeting with your next appointment.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, take care. Bye.